Hello everybody, I'm Pilar Archila with Pure Gold. I'm sitting here with Ted Short, Chief Financial Officer for Fairview Park Hospital. How are you today?
I'm fine, and I certainly appreciate you allowing me to visit on your show.
Let me tell you, Ted and I, we're very busy, and it took us forever to be together.
It did.
Although we attend the Fairview Park Hospital Board of Trustees together, but sometimes it's hard to find time to be here. But anyway, I'm so glad we're here together.
Absolutely.
I have so much that I want to ask you and know about you. Let me start asking you, are you from Dublin?
No, not originally. I was born and raised in Beckley, West Virginia.
Oh.
And, after attending high school, going to college at Virginia Tech in Blacksburg, Virginia, and having several positions in Beckley. I've joined the hospital in Beckley, and in the accounting department. And the hospital in Beckley was owned by Hospital Corporation of America, just like the Fairview Park here in Dublin. And was there for a couple of years, and then transferred with them to Walterboro, South Carolina, and I was at the hospital at Walterboro for
getting closer
a few years,
to Dublin.
getting a little bit closer, and enjoying the South.
Yes.
And then had an opportunity in 1983 to move to Dublin and become the Chief Financial Officer at Fairview Park Hospital, and made that move and haven't regretted it, and really have enjoyed being at the hospital and being in Dublin, and obviously like this area of Georgia very, very much, because I've stayed here for a pretty good while.
Yes, it's 1983. It's been a while, over 30 years.
Over 30 years.
My gosh. Who is your family?
My family, I'm married to, she was Jackie New when she was born, and then she was Jackie Ganaway, and then Jackie and I got married about 12 years ago, and we have 4 sons. Or let me say, Jackie has worked at, I think, the Veterans Administration Hospital ever since she's been in Dublin, and worked in their social services department, and coordinated the hospice programs for the VA, and very much enjoyed that. And very recently, about 6-8 weeks ago, retired from the VA after
Did she really?
At 35 years. Yes, she did.
Oh, goodness.
So
what a nice feeling to not to leave the VA, because the VA is just wonderful, but to just say, I retired.
She, it might have had something to do with the grandchildren, because we've, in the last 2 years.
I know the feeling.
We have, we've got 3 grandchildren in the last 2 years, and they are taking up a lot of their time. Even though they don't live in Dublin, she spent a good bit of time traveling back and forth from one coast to the other. We've got 4 sons.
Yes.
Our oldest lives in Richmond, Virginia, and 2 of our grandchildren are in Richmond, and then we have a son that lives in Newport Beach, California, and another grandchild, and one on the way. In November, we'll have our 4th. And then we've got 2 sons in Atlanta. We've got one in Alpharetta, and then one that's in the Buckhead area of Atlanta.
Well, tell Jackie that we're going to buy a helicopter together, and we're going to just travel and visit our grandchildren.
She is staying on the road. And we love both trips, but obviously the one in California is a little bit...
a little bit, yeah. I have a son in California, and I know how that is.
we don't quite get there as often as we would like to.
No, but it's, if they're happy, make us happy.
Absolutely.
That's the way it is. Well, how did you get involved with the Chamber of Commerce?
Well, to be honest, after being in Dublin a number of years, and I consider Dublin, it's not my hometown, but I do consider it somewhat my hometown. It is my hometown now.
Of course, yes. After,
and,
30-some years, yes, it is.
Absolutely. And, you want to find a way to support your local community. Our
Yes.
local community at Dublin, City of Dublin, the county, and this area, they have, like I said, I have really enjoyed living in this area, and I think we've got a great city and county and a great business community.
We got a wonderful community.
Absolutely. And I just wanted, quite frankly, I wanted a way of doing something to give back, and working with the Chamber of Commerce, whatever role that is, I thought was a good way of contributing to Dublin and the area, and I found it very satisfying.
Are you one of the board members for the Chamber of Commerce?
Yes, right now I'm serving in the capacity of the long-term planning chairman, and it's kind of a job you get after you've rotated through some other posts. I started at the Chamber as a board member and served 4 years, and then in the 5th year I got elected as chairman of the Chamber of Commerce, which was a very rewarding experience, and I really enjoyed that a lot. Very busy, but very rewarding experience. And then after that year, became the position of past chair, and usually the past chair stays involved on the board, and long-range planning is one of the positions that the past chair
after the
helps
past
fulfill.
chair. Now, what exactly, the position that you have now, what exactly you do there?
Well, as the long-term planning and past chair, one of the things recently I've been looking at several areas. One is to make sure that, and to give input to the board to make sure that chamber stays relevant. Things change, and you want to make sure that the chamber changes and the chamber meets the expectations of its members, because the chamber is really there to serve the business community, and at large it serves the community also. But first and foremost, it serves the business community, and to make sure that the programs and that the chamber has are relevant and meeting the needs of the business community.
Yeah, well, that's if you have the chamber strong, and if you have good programs and everybody knows what's going on, everything is going to work better.
Absolutely. And it's much said, but I think it's very true that the chamber, particularly in our size community, a lot of times is one of the front doors of the community. It's not the only front door, but it's one of the front doors. And frankly, you'd be surprised at how many people either are traveling through Dublin or the area, and they want a little bit of information, and they'll stop in the Chamber of Commerce. And of course, one of the services that they provide, which supports our local community and our local businesses, is information on the community.
That's right.
Whether that's where can I get my car repaired, to where can I eat, or this looks like a place I might be interested in retiring,
I want to
and
know
what's
about
the opportunities. Absolutely.
Yes.
So it's not a visitor center, but it's very much a representative of the community.
Why is the Chamber of Commerce so important for Fairview Park Hospital?
Well, I think not only for Fairview Park, I think you could even take that broader, and it's important for any business.
Yes.
For one thing, one of the things that I have found most satisfying at the Chamber of Commerce are ribbon cuttings of businesses.
Yes.
And every time a business opens, that's more people being employed. That's additional resources going into the community. It enhances the culture and the living of our local community, and those are so important. So supporting businesses promotes growth in the community.
Right.
And obviously the Lawrence County Development Authority has done an excellent job and continues to do an excellent job recruiting businesses. And of course, their concentration is on large industries, and the chamber certainly supports them in that role, and we try to do anything we can to assist them in their job of recruiting industries and jobs to Dublin. one of the jobs of the chamber is, once the industry's here, is helping maintain that industry, supporting that industry, representing the industry, helping it maintain and help create a business environment that's positive.
That's right.
To create jobs. And so, therefore, what's in it for Fairview Park, and it is exactly what's in it for any other business,
Right.
is a community that's we say it's green, it's growing. We want to create jobs. We want to create synergy in the community. I think it's probably a very true statement that if you aren't growing and progressing, you're probably going backwards. And,
That's right.
Dublin has been very blessed to be a very progressive community.
Yes.
And move forward, and we certainly want to see that continue, and it's good for every business. I mean, the chamber, often it's what's in it for me being a member of the chamber, and
Right.
part of that is you get an opportunity. There's lots of opportunities to network, but I think one of the big ones is by keeping a strong chamber, you keep a strong business community. I think that supports that.
Supports that.
Small businesses and large businesses, and it helps
right.
everyone.
And Ted, I imagine that a lot of people that stop by the chamber, when they want to know about our community, they want to know about our medical facilities. Because, some people are here retired, some people are here with some problems, health problems, and they want to go to a community when they have a very strong, good hospital that they can count on.
Absolutely, and in fact, I think part of what industry looks at, and I'm sure to some extent any individual looking to relocate to Dublin would look at is you want to look at your schools, you want to look at your infrastructure. And your city and county government, and you want to look at your medical care,
That's right.
and all those have to work together to make a good, viable, strong community.
Yeah. Well, that is, to me, that was very important, and I have noticed, and we're going to talk a little bit after a short break, but I have noticed a lot of new doctors coming into town. Fairview Park Hospital employs a lot of people, so we're going to have a short break, and after that, we're going to keep talking with Ted Short about more wonderful things about Fairview Park Hospital. Thank you for watching. I'm here with Ted Short, and we're talking about the Chamber of Commerce. We're talking about Fairview Park Hospital. Now, Ted, Fairview Park Hospital is the biggest non-governmental biggest employer here in Dublin. Is that right? Is that statement correct?
I think that's correct. We've got 615 employees, and we have another 135 contracted employees that perhaps that work with vendors that service the hospital. So,
Right.
Total impact of direct jobs on the campus is up around 750 jobs.
Yeah, that's a big, huge employee. Let's talk about doctors. Do you have any idea about how many doctors?
Well, we've got 112 on the active medical staff, and we've got, in fact, just in the past 12 months, we've recruited 19 doctors to Dublin. Doctors are very important to the growth of the hospital, and I would say the growth of the community too, and supporting the medical needs. And
Right.
Dublin Lawrence County has and people may not think about it, but we've got a huge medical community in Dublin.
Yes, we
You've
do.
got of course, Fairview Park Hospital, but you also have the VA Medical Center.
That's right.
And then if you think of all the independent physicians' offices, you think of the nursing homes, the assisted
Right.
living homes, the medical equipment, the pharmacies. And
Yes.
if you just consider all those entities that support healthcare, it's a huge industry in the Dublin, Lawrence County area. And of course, it brings a lot of people into Dublin, from, again, from the Chamber of Commerce standpoint. I know about 45% of our patients come in from outside the county. So,
yes.
We're bringing people in to get medical care, and it's just like any other business. As those people come in, they will shop a little bit locally. Right. They may stay locally.
They have lunch here.
They may eat locally, and so it really
and
some
may stay overnight.
Absolutely. So it has a broad impact on the local economy, and in fact, with the problems since '98 with the economy and business volume sliding and us losing some businesses, I would submit that the medical community, although we weren't entirely immune, I would say for a big part, the medical community in this area kind of cushioned the economy somewhat.
That's right.
Because we didn't get impacted to lose jobs. I mean, you can't pick when you get sick, so that business continues, whether it's in the hospital or in a doctor's office.
Yeah, you cannot say, not this week, next week,
That's
but not
right.
this week.
And of course, the VA Medical Center here has grown and added new services, and they've been very viable too. So, very big medical community in this area, which
yes.
We draw from many miles away. I mean, we consider our market area to touch around 12 counties, including Lawrence County. So
that's right.
We have patients come in from all directions to get services.
That is just amazing. I know you travel a lot, just like me, and you have seen other cities like Dublin. Compare our city, Dublin, our size, with other towns our size, comparing their Chamber of Commerce. What do you think about our chamber?
I think we've got an excellent chamber, very progressive chamber. Obviously, if you go into most cities our size, you're not going to see, we've got a tremendous complex on Bellevue. I don't think you see many cities that have such a lovely facilities as we have in Dublin. We can be very proud when people come in and visit Dublin. If they come by the Chamber of Commerce, they're going to be impressed with the facilities and the people there. And of course, Willie Polk being the president, there's not a nicer person
exactly.
And a better representative for Lawrence and County and Dublin.
Our chamber, yes.
I think part of it is how our community works together. We've got a very cooperative city. City of Dublin and Lawrence County, the government officials work very much together and they support each other. The Chamber and Development Authority work in concert with that group too. And then you've got the Downtown Development Authority, and I think you would say that our Downtown Development Authority, which I hadn't sat on that board, but they Spence Mullis is the chairman of that board, but the Downtown Development Authority has done just an outstanding job in working with the city and the county in redeveloping the downtown area. And it's, with the most recent being the plaza area. I think everybody may know that they're working on the Carnegie Library right now to turn that into to renovate it and turn it into a beautiful facility. So our downtown is transforming, and I think all that indicates between the Downtown Development Authority, the Lawrence County Development Authority, the City of Dublin, the Chamber, and everyone just working together.
Everybody
we're just very blessed.
Chips in.
And I don't think every community has that harmony that we find here, but I think it's because we all see the big picture, and we want to have Dublin progressive, and we want to have Dublin looking good and be an attractive place for people to come.
That's right. Any success stories since you moved to Dublin, and any story that you want to tell us?
Well, I think the year I was chairman, and then there's been a couple of things that have transpired since then. But when I was chairman, one of the things that was very satisfying, and the chamber played a small role in it, but I was very proud. There was a push to close the J. Roy Rowland Federal Courthouse.
I remember that.
And the chamber got involved, and we coordinated very many communications to the panel in Washington that was going to make those decisions. We appeared on a number of times on TV. We had a rally on the steps of the courthouse, and it was
another effort,
Yeah, it was another community effort, and I think it would have been very negative for Dublin to lose its federal courthouse.
Oh, I agree with you, and I'm sure Judge Bowen will agree with you too, and
absolutely,
and everybody.
Absolutely. So it was just so satisfying to save the courthouse and maintain it here. Of course, those things are never over, and we'll probably have to step up again. But it just showed that if we all work together, that we can do some great things.
Yes. Well, Ted, we're going to take another short break, and we'll be right back. Thank you for watching. I'm here with Ted Short, and we're having a real nice conversation here.
We are.
How is the volunteers important, not only for Fairview Park Hospital, but also for the Chamber of Commerce?
Well, I'll take the chamber first.
Let's do that.
The chamber, the chamber is its members, and there is a staff at the chamber. But to be honest, it's just like any organization. Without its members really getting involved and volunteering to step up and work on issues, it's hard to accomplish anything.
All that.
You accomplish great things if everybody works together. So really, it's all the members and interested parties working together, volunteering to help on initiatives, help on committees that really make things happen.
Yes.
Willie Willie and the staff do a great job of providing resources and providing direction, but it's when everybody comes together that you do good things.
Yes.
So it's very important to support the chamber, and as I said earlier, that's the reason I got involved, was to try to I want to do something to help the community and support the community, and so I thought, well, helping with the Chamber of Commerce is a great way to do that.
Yes.
And it's much like it at the hospital. At the hospital, no one really wants to be in the hospital. I mean, it's one of those businesses. Are areas where you hope you don't get sick, and you hope you don't have a family member that gets sick, but those things happen.
But if you do, it's nice to know that we have a great hospital here.
Absolutely.
I mean, here, and that they're going to take care of us. And there is some nice volunteer ladies in there and people that,
Absolutely. Mindy Monk is in charge of our volunteers, both adult and our youth volunteers. And it's very valuable. One of our one of the things that we say is that we're community, treating community, because everyone that works in the hospital lives in our community or near our community.
Right.
Some of them live out in the county and so forth. But it's all your neighbors. I mean, when you come to the hospital, you're going to see a lot of people that you know, and they're taking care of you.
Right.
And to continue that theme, it's just very important to have a good volunteer system to support the patients. A lot of patients want someone to come in, and maybe it's just to hold their hand. We've got a chaplain program. Maybe they want to speak to a chaplain and spend some time. So it's just another step to make it feel a little bit like home, although it's not like home, but make it feel a little bit more home, make people feel more comfortable.
More comfortable and better.
And, and particularly for the patients. We want the patients to, in the best of circumstances, when you're getting treated, to feel a little bit at home, and that people are taking care of you.
We recently, TV 35, cover when you had the announcement of the expansion of the emergency room. That was very nice. We were very proud to be there and cover that. Do you have any more plans in the horizon for Fairview Park Hospital?
We do. And, the emergency room is just a continuation of the growth in physicians that we've had, the growth in patients utilizing the hospital, and particularly the emergency room. The emergency room is somewhat you could call the front door of the hospital. It's not, but it serves that purpose.
When there's an emergency, that's the first
place they go. And quite frankly, of those people that stay in the hospital and get admitted, almost 70% of those pass through the ED. So it really is kind of a front door of the hospital. And our volumes have grown over the last many years.
Yes.
And what we found ourselves, we had 12 treatment rooms, and recently we've seen as many as 38,000 ER visits in a year, and that's very difficult. So we found ourselves needing to expand our capability to see more people. And of course, one of our goals when you come to the emergency room, if we can, is we like to bed immediately. And what we mean by that is we try not to have patients waiting in the waiting room. We want to get them into a room, and so
as soon as possible.
Absolutely. Yeah. So part of the expansion is we're moving from 12 treatment rooms to 22 treatment rooms. That'll make a big difference. Some of that is we're actually having to expand the square footage of the hospital, and we have Dublin Construction working with us to do that. And not only are we going to add some additional square footage, but we're renovating the existing area.
Yes.
And it gives us the opportunity while we're doing that to create better patient flows, better flow for the staff, a better work environment for the doctors and nurses, but also a better environment for the patients.
The patients.
To make them more comfortable. So we're very proud that actually next week on the 31st, we're going to have the groundbreaking. I think the groundbreaking is at 9:30 a.m.
Right.
And the Chamber of Commerce will be there, and Dublin Construction after that groundbreaking will be ready to hit the ground and get that going. Some of our future plans is the operating room area.
Yes.
We want to touch the operating room, and it's been a few years since we've touched the operating room, except for new equipment. We're constantly adding new equipment, but we want to go into that area and kind of make it more efficient too, and renovate it. So that's the next project we're working on.
That is going to be a great project. And you see, all those projects make our community a better community, and for the Chamber, a lot easier to present to newcomers all those wonderful things that we talk about today.
Absolutely, and it helps us recruit new physicians too. And,
exactly.
And just this month we've added about 4 new physicians. In August we add 2 more physicians. We've got another one coming in September. So keeping the hospital modern with good, up-to-date technical equipment is very important to attracting new doctors to the community, which helps the whole community.
Helps the community, and that's the key.
Absolutely.
To have a healthy and wonderful community.
Absolutely.
Ted, thank you so much for being here with me.
Absolutely. This has been fun.
Yes. Boy, we can have more and more information. Maybe we're going to have more shows.
Absolutely. I'd be glad to come and join you anytime.
Yes. Thank you, Ted.
Thank you.
And thank you, all of you, for watching. Just tune in. Until next time.
Boca